Good afternoon, RPG Limit Break here. We are here for the final Swiss round of the Lali-Ho League here for Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. We've got Couch 23, we've got Starman, and we've got Invenerable here with me on comms. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day. Excited for this really great 4-on-1 race. Although both these racers have advanced to brackets, there's still a lot on the line here. Everyone wants to get that fifth win to have an easier time and a clearer path to the ultimate victory. So I don't think we're going to see any slacking between either of these runners today.
Oh no, we've had some extremely excellent Week 6 matches here already, and as you said, I mean, yeah, with a 5-1, you're really kind of guaranteed almost. Yeah, I won't say the easiest to pass there, but it definitely is a much easier road for you here. And yes, objective 6 for Couch only here. We do need to give Cheddar all the treats.
She is one of the best commentators in the business. Love it when she gets on the microphone with Couch, of course. And I'm curious what opinion she has on the match. But of course, you share a household, you don't get to commentate the match while it's going on. Sorry, Cheddar. We'll get you in the booth pretty soon. Hopefully, in a couple weeks during those brackets phases. Let's look at these objectives, Naidu. Get a character and get a character. Do you like getting characters? I like getting characters. I know where characters are.
I love getting characters, yes.
Unlike boss hunts, which can be at any of the boss locations, characters are a little more restricted. You know exactly which key items gate which, but my favorite thing about having two character objectives means this is a match that's primed to have a pretty good chance, if we're lucky, I hope we're lucky, chat, to get a play into the Giant of Babel. These flags really nerf a lot of the potency that the Giant offered previously, so two character hunts, probably as good a chance as any that we get to see a spicy Giant play. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, we've been seeing so many near misses lately on the Giant play, and if I'm reading my twin correctly, that is a Porom, I believe, in the starting slot there.
It is indeed. So we have our white mage out the gate, not the strongest one, but I like white mages. How do you feel about white mages?
Well, I mean, I am on record saying that the White Magic is one of the best command sets in Free Enterprise here. And Porom does start here with early access to Berserk and slightly later access to the higher order Cure spells, Cure 3, Cure 4, and a hit point growth that makes people kind of swerve off, but perfectly cromulent starting here early game.
Oh yeah, and the runners are getting, increasingly better and better at nerfing those big bangs in the final fight against the Romus, so they can't do more than 1,200 damage. And although Porom doesn't have the greatest HP growth, she will have 1,200 HP before you fight Zeromus, unless you're doing some of the more niche strategies. So, I like her. We get the exit spell from her as well, and that complete Cave Magnus, the fixed #1 objective. She's got a lot going for her on this flag set lately. We'll see how our runners put her to work this seed.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting here, and I believe we might be going off on the seed here real shortly, just to see who she starts with, what they do start with, and what their opening strategies are, especially in terms of looting or if something spicy like, an Earth Crystal or Magma Key show up. But that's, we have Team White Mage to start out with some part of the Baron Guards or the Kaipo Inn, and some cookware.
Pan is very nice. This definitely leads into the potential of a single dip Fabul on the run. If we get an access to underground, it won't shock me to see either runner fading that castle until you can just make one run headlong at it. And I love having Rosa as the partner here. You can kind of put Porom on white mage duty, give Rosa any good bows or arrows you find. That aim command compensates for the absolute wretched accuracy on a lot of the early bows. So I think this is a great starting team. Let's see which way they take off from here.
Oh yeah, this starting team is telling you one thing: my kingdom for a heroine robe as soon as earthly possible here.
Couch heading on into the Baron Inn, gonna see who the character and the first boss there is. Well, we found one of the character objectives already. Tella's discussing the finer points of ice magic with Leviathan. And Starman, meanwhile, they're making the play into the public Troya treasury, 8 little chests all in a row.
You don't see it all that often, and I'm kind of wondering why, because I keep finding such great things out of the public treasury, especially that strength ring and black belt. Extra strength ring, black belt, wonderful for our physical fighters out the gate there.
Another thing with the fact that we have standard shops on, another nice thing about this is there are two item shops in Troya, and vampires can be for sale. Single-use drain item can be for sale in ungated item shops. So having two chances at fishing those out before you start doing boss checks, it's a play I've not seen a lot this tournament, but it may have been a pretty good one in Swiss. I don't think we're going to see it an awful lot in brackets, though, given the limited financial means that we're all going to have.
Yes, very much so. And looking between the starting equipment of the two, you can cobble together and look like an archer bow and some perfectly damn ammo. And speaking of ammo, that was a pack of arty arrows there in the watery pass that Couch happened upon there. So, while we did not heroin rope that we so wanted there, we have a setup to make at least one good archer out of the two here.
Oh yeah, Rosa with those Artemis arrows will be doing tons of work this early game. They have so much damage. Any dragon bosses will especially feel their sting. That's probably the biggest find we've seen so far on this early game looting.
Yep, and they're both going to, and one of the other places I really like, unless I hit like that very early magma key, not getting a whole bunch of great stuff. Slumber swords everywhere in here, but it's hugely dense down here, and you're likely to at least get one or two decent pieces of gear, like that crystal ring right there. That's perfectly great.
Well, you'll have to fill me in a little bit more. I am currently having significant stream buffering issues, so let me know what's going on the play-by-play, and I'll do my best to offer strategical insights until my DNS issues work themselves out here.
Yeah, certainly. We're both of them are just gonna pop the hovercraft here. Like I said, both of them were just in the Damsian treasury. We've had like 8 billion slumber swords, but we did find a crystal ring in the bottom, which was easily the best piece of gear. Both of them have now spawned their hovercraft, and it looks like we do have an Archer Rosa ready to go here on Couch's side. And looks like it's gonna be, well, looks like we might be splitting it between the two here on Starman's side. Yeah, going to crossbow and mute arrows there, actually. Well, maybe not. As Couch is getting into Antlion Cave and looks to be taking a full loot across the board here. Does get a Lilith Rod. I believe they also did find a Sylph Summon out in the Watery Pass as well.
Excellent. Yeah, both our runners high-fiving here in Antlion Cave, neither one making that hops check initially. This is definitely the easier boss of the two, but you don't have a bonus character beforehand. Was that a white lance just sitting there, by the way, or were those white arrows?
No, that was absolutely a white lance, so we're hoping for Dragoon now, at the very least.
Oh, T-Wildish. So potent, so strong. So guaranteed no cane in the seed, I believe, is what the kids say these days.
That is what they say these days, and I mean, well, we know 5 of our characters already between the, well, no, 4, between the 2 guaranteed at the start and the 2 in the objectives, and we've already found Tella. But that's the good thing about not finding Edge or Fusoya inside those early character, or in the character recruits there, because they can be anywhere instead of just 2 slots immediately off the board in the Baron Inn and Mount Ha.
We have an Asura in the first fight here. Will not attack the team on her own, which is very kind and generous, but I'm not seeing any anti-mage weaponry in Couch's inventory. Let's see if Starman has anything that'll do quadruple damage here.
I believe actually Porum started with mute arrows. One of them did. I know I saw a pack of mute arrows somewhere here.
Yeah, Starman's Rosa hitting for nearly 800 damage there speaks to having the proper weaponry. But if you're not timing the life lock right, she will out-heal that very early. Cure 4 is doing the full heal of this 1000 HP at this spot.
Yep, Couch does seem to have the Great Base Lock online here, so not going to be a problem. And, I mean, I really wouldn't want to burn Star Veils here either.
Absolutely not. Starman, though, with the bonus mage damage, makes it through just a few seconds ahead of Couch, neck and neck here in the early game in spite of very disparate loot routes. We got a White Lance, we got a Dragoon Lance.
Okay, so Kane is definitely not on Hobbs.
Maybe there'll be 2 Canes in the seed. Maybe we'll get one on Hobbs and one, I don't know. We'll say on the moon when someone goes there hoping to find their last character for the objectives.
And we do have... Oh, yep, Couch went to the exit there. They did find an exit in the chest, and we are going to get a waterfall check here where we find the Hummets.
Kind of sad to see him there, of course. One of the easier fights in the game, given that we have J items, Star Veils. Star Veils being guaranteed in an ungated shop as long as your J items and your safeties are enabled. Kind of makes that a freebie. Otherwise, you either have to grind up to a wall spell or be ready to dish out enough damage before the Mega Nuke comes. So, kind of free. You hate to see it out of the pool. How do you like even more magery on your team?
Well, I'm sure our runners are definitely happy to find this iteration of the Black Mage here on Hobbs, and a quick lip bolt from just about anybody is going to deal with the gas in front, leaving just Malon here. And actually, cheeky and well done play here by Couch. I believe it's re-equipped Palom and passed and started the twin with Porom, I believe. Or started the twin magic, I apologize.
Oh yeah, there's really fun ordering you can do here to get just extra utility out of your little twin mages. Of course, the way the game chooses whose stat is being used for twin magic is also kind of tricky. It depends on when timers process. Typically, it's the person in the higher priority slot, except on those rare occasions when it isn't. So, but early game, Twin Magic's going to do a whole bunch of damage no matter who's casting it, especially with that nice little boost from the rune rings that we're rocking.
I find it funny that both of them drew Comets, which is not the rarest of the Twin Magics, but definitely one of the rarer ones when you kind of almost want to pop Flare here just because it doesn't split damage like Comet does.
I believe you have it the other way. Comet does split damage. Flare is the split one, but usually better against single targets, if only because consumes less MP. Can be reflected though, which can be really annoying against fights like Baigen, against Magus Sisters, but sometimes you gotta YOLO.
Speaking of, Couch says, I don't care if I have that pan, I want the XP from this football defense, which I actually totally and completely agree with, just to get that Quack Kid further towards Quake here, while Starman's going to the back of Hobbs. Did get a Flame Lance, get another Rune Ring, but nothing entirely great there.
Is this even randomized? We fight Mylon and then Mylon Z back to back? That seems a little vanilla.
Vanilla Jason, at least. I mean, we didn't have to go to football or something like that.
Yeah, and Couch actually pulling out these white arrows to good effect. One of the weakest arrows in terms of attack power, but they are strong versus undead enemies. So, getting a little bonus damage here with that, not burning the Artemis arrows and still getting good damage out of his archer. Fire 2 cleans up the fight, and those are some very nice levels for his twins.
It's one of the best things about archers going forward in this game, is that the fact that you find a couple decent packs of arrows and you can hit all the weaknesses you could ever want to hit with basically an archer there, and that's a pink tail, so that's half of an objective out of the full defense here.
Yeah, all of a sudden our runners may be kind of hoping for a hook route instead of a magma key route, just to know that that objective is cleared out, it's taken care of, you're not panicking, worrying, oh, where is that hook hiding? So I would really be hoping for a hook seed. People think they're rude, but if it cleans up your routing and your objectives, what's not to like?
It does at that. The only thing I might be thinking here is we do have a Tell and a Baron in, so our early starting team is extremely mage heavy to begin with here. So we definitely don't want something like a good old Dark Knight Cecil at either one of those spots, honestly.
Yeah, grinding this team to have enough HP to survive that would be uh, dubious at best. Hey, there's those vampires we mentioned.
Couch availing himself to a few of those, and hey, why not? Just because, honestly, sometimes there's not better things for your white mages to do. Again, they did not get lucky with the heroin row, which would make absolutely bonkers archers this early, but yeah, we go with what we have.
And those Artemis arrows will still do really good work. I'm a little sad we've not seen a dragon-type enemy yet. A Peldim, a Wyvern, the D-Lunars. Any of these would be real fun here. Or second phase of Dark Elf, there's one for you. I want to see this quadruple damage from Artemis arrows. I want Rosa to hit for 4 digits before we even complete ordeals. Let's go, Seed, let's go.
If we're going to do that, I'd like a samurai bow as well here, just given we're not going to get an Artemis bow from the drops here. So the best we can get, we do have a little bit of divergence. Couch is climbing Mount Ordeals, does get an Ogre Axe, great for a possible physical party member not appearing in the seed yet. And Starman's going to pick off this Baron in and interrupt the deep intellectual conversation between the two here.
Yeah, so Couch had already peeked Baron in, knew that Tella was there, may think, oh, I'm not going to get too much utility out of him. And this is a little... You always hate to see the karate fight when you don't have a Cecil around to activate the one-hit script, but if you're gonna fight karate, fighting him at an exceptionally weak physical location, like this one, is rather handy. These kicks and these punches, he needs to go back for more training.
Maybe that is what he was doing up here, and we just interrupted him before the training began. Speaking of things you want to shoot with arty arrows, I believe you called for this right here over on the other end, because that's Peldim.
Oh, yeah. And I see that, although this is the second fight, Starman's Rosa only took 1 damage from that punch. Usually high physical power here. What anti-dragon armor did Starman find for their Rosa?
I would believe it would be the Crystal Ring at this point, would be the only thing I could think of.
Ah, yes, Crystal Ring would do it. That makes this fight extra free on the defensive side of things, whereas Couch will have the advantage on the offensive side of things when he gets there. A cute little juxtaposition between these two parties.
That said, with those vampires in stock, Starman should not have any trouble here. Even if it just may be the Rosa that's standing there. I do see a Dancing Dagger also in the inventory that Palom can default to. And given that I don't see Virus on him just yet, you might need to deal some non-elemental damage against this Peldim here.
And we find the cows and the Brenas, the creepy dancing dolls in the back attack here. Don't think we have Toad yet, don't think we have a source of multi-target stop yet. How would you like to deal with this fight to make sure you don't see them merge into the big doll, Nightdew?
That is an interesting question here. It looks like I see Couch popping a couple vampires here, and even with the split damage, I might actually be defaulting to the twin command here, hoping for Comet by chance. But real quick, we do have a hook through the Baron Inn, so we're going to at least see this pink tail and whatever else might come of that pink tail.
Yep. That will let us turn that in. We can also go to Cave Eblana to pick up a 5th character for this team if we want to go ahead and load the party up. Maybe see what we're working with, if there is a physical fighter. And meanwhile, Couch is through that Calbrena fight. Did not see the big doll. Very well executed.
And they are probably going to swap places here, as I would assume Couch would probably be going back to pick up that Tella after this, unless something very spicy comes to his inventory here, while Starman is going to be seeking real ultimate power for said Tella and getting that spell list filled out here. And that's a Baron key, so that might do it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Couch will be heading to Baron regardless at this point, but then the question becomes, how exactly do you want to route after that? Because the Baron Inn will give that hook, which is the character, it's the pink tail turn-in, it's a gated shop that you can visit in Cave Evelyn as well for, upgrade. And not just that, but the item shop there is guaranteed to have 2 Tier 5 utility items. So the temptation between going and peeking that versus just staying in Baron to reduce your flight time, it's a little tricky. Do you remember who gave us our starting item?
It was either the Kaipo guards or the Baron soldiers there, so it is a fairly free fight, but something you might want some of those tier 5 items, e.g. hourglasses, coffins for, if just to speed it up. The only thing there is, at the very least, even if we check the Baron in and we get that Tella, at the very least our runners would have access to his exit spell, and would be able to, at the very least, go in, check the character, and get out.
Yeah, so going to be some interesting routing decisions for our runners here. Starman, of course, will also be getting this Baron key. I don't think they'll have any trouble getting through these fights. And Couch now, after doing, if he does the in, well, also lots of choices to make here. I'm a little surprised we didn't see that pink tail turn in beforehand here, but I suppose what weaponry from that pink tail turn in would have made this better for Starman?
I don't
Not a
suppose
whole
you're going
lot.
to find any weaponry. One of the only things you could find in that item pool, honestly, would be a white shirt or an arty bow. Would be basically what you're looking for this party here.
Seems reasonable to me.
But again, Tella will have his full spell list, so you will have access to the stone spell. So while you do not know the second fight in Baron there, you should just be able to kind of not, completely cheese your way through, but you should at least have an easy time with the first fight should you choose to go dive that Baron key immediately.
And Starman here illustrating one of those dilemmas with having your Porum and your Palom out of order. Did land Flare, which, as we mentioned, does split damage. Against 6 foes, it's very little. But also, I'm fairly certain that was powered by Porum's magic stat, not Palom's. We'll see if this bluff before the next Twin Cast powers anything up. But yeah, those vampires coming in clutch in this fight just a few moments ago for Couch. I'm not sure Starman bought a stack, and if he did, not using them at this time.
I think I saw 1 or 2 of them out in the Yang fight, actually, and given how expensive they are, you can't really, fire all of them like, Couch is able to throw 3 and take out the back ones before a well-placed fire, too. Also, we did see the Waterfall boss and another free boss off the board in that Water Hag.
Oh, and thank you, chat. Chat pointing out that Starman did burn a whole bunch of them in that Baron M fight. And there is a big doll. The punches are coming. Well, nope. The resets are coming. Gonna reroll that fight. Yeah, that second flare also did not have a bonus from the bluff ability. So definitely was rolling with a Porum's spell power there.
Yeah, at this point, you might want to just kind of roll through. And one thing I wasn't thinking of at the time, you might just want to bluff up like about twice or so and then let a fire 2 or some other tier 2 spell rip. Should get the job done.
Couch is through the Leviathan fight at full health. And again, has those Artemis arrows, but I don't think he has that crystal ring. And without Virus, Palom's not going to be doing a whole lot of good this fight.
Nope, did hover over those arty arrows, is going for the dancing dagger here. Again, not sure. No, actually, both of them were in the treasury there. So yeah, Rosa does have that crystal ring.
Yeah, there's the 1 damage. Yeah, Rosa has the dragon defense. This is academic at this point. Never mind. I was hoping it'd be a nice little counterpoint with the defense versus the offense, but Couch has both, and this dragon is not long for this world.
Yep. The good news is Couch had 4 arrows left to throw there. Only took 3 on Pale Dim, so hopefully we'll get that Berserk spell fairly soon, at least in the sense that you really don't want to be firing off that last arty arrow if you can help it.
There is objective number 4 for Couch, has added the Sage Tella to the team, complete with his full spell suite. But now, does he chase the Hook, the Pink Tail, the Ebon Cave, or does he head right on into Baron Castle? Let's find out.
Meanwhile, we get a second big doll over on Starman's side here. And it does look like he intends to take the fight this time around.
Does have Blink, which will help out immensely here from these punches, giving him two free punches per cast on whatever character's bopped. And Couch, not pursuing that Baron Key, is going to go, appears to be doing Pink Tail first, and then we'll be heading on over to the cave.
Although if Rosa has any other arrow strikes like that, yeah, that big doll's not long for the world here.
Hey, there we go. Starman is through, this time just taking the big doll down. And Couch gets fine Hanzo Steel for that Pink Tail.
Well, we know who we want to find on the Hook route. We've got great weapons and a black belt and others for Edge, and we have great weaponry for Kane.
And we even have an Ogre Axe for a Cecil or a Sid if you just want literally any mediocre physical attacker at this point in the game.
Yeah, that would be good, and I mean the upside of an Ogre Axe is if you want to take said Staleman or Mad Ogre chest on the way through for XP or hope of greater items, well, that Ogre Axe will fulfill all your weakness hitting needs for those fights.
And a Blizzard Spear. So we have a White Lance, a Dragoon Lance, and a Blizzard Spear. Is there any boss that Kane would not be ready to fight?
And those Blizzard, we have Coffin and Bacchus as our two free items here. I think I like the Coffins over the Bacchus here, just given the party makeups at the moment. Also, I noticed we have 3 Dragoon gloves in that there, so yeah, that's actually a really nice piece of gear in the sense that you want your physical fighters to be wearing at least one piece of Dragoon armor, if just for the elemental resistance.
And Starman's Rosa, with those mute arrows, hitting Sandy for over 2,500 damage. One of the easiest ways to get better at your free enterprise play is just learn which enemies have those subtype weaknesses and learn which weapons will give you that quad damage. Love to see those big numbers this early in a scene.
Yeah, we'll extol the virtues of bow wielders here again, just because of all the varied ammunition they can pick up and what you can tool there. And so you heard about First Tella, right?
I've heard of him.
But what about Second Tella?
So we have the old Tella and we have the new Tella. I would like some crepes, please.
That does sound good. However, our party here, and that was Dr. Dialogue heading off there, and I would be extremely. I mean, Luke's not terrible to fight there, but I would definitely be thinking about that Baron Key play right now.
Oh yeah, again, just for another chance at a true physical attacker. I mean, we could still just find even more mages there. But Baron's not a bad place to go. Ultimately, it does have 2 chances for key item checks. It does have a character, and we are definitely still hunting one. So I think I like Baron here as well. That I'm just not comfortable with that Luke fight with this very squishy team.
Couch gonna attempt to take the Staleman on without an hourglass here, as they are punching that party down rather efficiently. There is a berserk out there on that Rosa who whips the first shot. That's not going to go well, unfortunately, and there's the reset.
Yeah, again, just another fight that this squishy team, unless you have ridiculously good armor, just not ready to handle yet. The team would actually fare far better against the Mad Ogres. The Mad Ogres, of course, are a mage subtype, and all those rune rings that we start with on this flag set give you mage resistance. Moreover, they also have a... there's that heroin robe, by the way. You've been waiting for it. Here it is. Rosa ready to do some work. Shame she still only has that crossbow equipped, though.
I thought Porum had an archer bow, and at this point I I believe I would be putting in that Rose's hands, hoping for something perhaps better, as Couch does know where the monster's chest in is and can completely loot around it here. But yeah, we wanted a physical fighter. We wanted one of the others, but that heroin robe means it is Rose's turn now.
I don't believe either runner checked the Baron weapon shop. That is also a gated weapon shop. You have to have the key to open that door. So maybe a samurai bow. Elven bow is an ungated item. It would also be really great to see. Crossbow's accuracy is so bad that... so there is a glitch in the game where if a character is zerked in a way that they don't re-enter the action queue, you never lose your last arrow. We would love to never lose that last Artemis arrow. That would be fantastic. But the counterpoint of that is if Rosa zerks herself to use it, she's not using her aim command. And not aiming with the crossbow is bad. So let's buy a samurai bow and solve that problem outright.
And that will be our wrench to pretty much fix like every issue we have going forward here. So Rosa is now finally set up to do all the physical base damage, and Palom's there to handle everything else, and the others are just kind of there to support. Yes, support.
Yeah, like every fight we see going forward, Rosa is going to drink wine until she learns Berserk. When she knows Berserk, she will just cast Berserk on herself, never lose that final arrow as long as she doesn't die, and that is going to clean up so many fights here in the immediate future.
And I believe Starman has arrived at the same conclusion and is... Now, I don't know how much Starman actually looted there, so I do not know if the heroin robe was acquired on that end. I was not paying that close of attention to that side at that point.
Well, regardless, though, they're still going to see this samurai bow for sale and take that similar upgrade, get a little better accuracy going on. I see we also have the black robe for sale in the armor shop. Very nice that the dev Boardface fixed this to match the Japanese version, and that it actually does boost the black magic stat, not the white magic one as it did in the original US version of this game.
So it was the Kaipo fight there, which is... Now, I don't know how they actually distribute their strength, because it almost doesn't seem like the Dark Imps, where they just all seem to be, like, supremely punchy as they come out here. But those guards, those front guards do have a very small supply of the hit points that the whole spot gets, so that comic is going to get the rest of them. We're going to get a life glitch on one of them for a little bit extra XP, and then this guy's probably going to retreat unless Rosa just shoots him dead first.
Nicely done, getting the full array of XP and a little bonus here. The life glitch enabled in this flag said, well, enemies in Final Fantasy IV have a vitality stat of 0. When you are lifed up, you revive with a number of HP equal to your vitality stat times 5. What's 5 times 0?
Well, I believe that's still 0. However, the game does actually count it as a resurrection still. So, unfortunately for the enemy, they straight up die again. Fortunately for you, the game counts as a second kill, and that is a lot of monsters in a trench coat on the Baron Throne.
I really like this fight here, though. This is going to be an excellent XP infusion for the team, because if we don't find any branching paths from this fight, we are obligated to pursue that hook route into the underground. So bonus XP here, a team that should not have any problems with it. It's a small time delay, but you're probably assuming your opponent's doing the same thing, whether now or later in the seed.
Yeah, and even if it were later in the seed, you're not really going to be saving that much time here, unless you have a setup where your Palom's going to open every fight with a quake or something like that. But so, yeah, you don't hate to see it in the sense that you know your opponent's probably going to be doing the same thing, but you're still a little annoyed.
Yeah. And one thing I do like seeing here, by the way, also, is Couch is not hesitating to burn these Bacchus wines. They may cost 5,000 gold a bottle, but Couch doesn't care. He is playing for speed, not for necessarily efficiency. And when you just have one opponent and one who is as great at this game as Starman, you want to eke out every little time advantage you can.
Yeah, as a second point to that as well, I mean, yes, the Bacchus do count for, the Bacchus are 5k apiece, but we also have 4 party members at the current moment who can replicate the effect of Bacchus with a single cast, so you're not losing too much, honestly.
So many level ups coming in. Just a few more fights to go. I'm a little sad that we didn't get this at perhaps maybe the Cave Magnus spot. I do love it when the Twin Harp music gets extended by several fights, but you know, this is definitely one of the less onerous places to deal with the alt gauntlet. You don't want to fight it in pretty much any spot on the moon. And some of the others are just irksome more than anything.
I mean, as a runner, I like hearing more, Twin Harp music, but I also dislike it unless I have a snap, virus caster, because one of the most annoying fights in the base game is still 1 Vamp Lady and 6k bats.
It's just so slow.
Would you like to see 6 vampire animations? No, too bad you're going to see them anyway.
Alright, I believe that was fight number 5 for Couch. It's hard to count. It's hard to count to anything higher than, 3 or 4.
That was here, and our party member is... well...
So Couch does dismiss one of the Tellas here, feeling that even Edward's relative niche utility, at least it's not counterfeited by having a party full of other mages already. If we get a spoon here, that Eddie will be very much the definition of glass cannon. And if we find certain rude fights, notably Dark Knight Cecil at a high damage location, the Odin fight, a few others, Eddie really has a great chance to shine. So I kind of like the swap here.
Yeah, in the defense of one Edward, it's not like we don't know where to get samurai bows in case this isn't the spoon here.
I guess we're not going underground yet. That is another objective on the table. The Twin Harp will allow our runners to complete objective number 1. Couch not hesitating, not peeking the basement throne, don't care. Let me go chase this objective right now.
Don't blame him in the least. I mean, yeah, I would like to know who's on that basement throw, but really, unless it's the Baron Guards or King Queen Evelyn, or this is something else you can kind of cheese your way through, you're probably not taking it down yet with this party.
And Couch looting the tail of the Chocobo Village. I never noticed this in my youth playing the game, but the black Chocobo Village there is shaped like a cute little Chocobo, with 2 treasures hiding in the tail feathers. This time, just a sad combined 40 gold pieces.
They were hiding it for you. They were like, these adventurers are going to need this 40. This 40.
Casual Leviathan summon just on the way here.
Casual Leviathan summon for the one of the 2 casters that haven't shown up in this seed between Rydia and Fu.
And a lightsaber to boot here. Couch, a lot of people skip the loot in Cave Magnus because it's kind of spaced out, it's kind of out of the way from the mainline path through the cave, but because of how loot's distributed and equalized, pretty nice drops here between that Leviathan and that lightsaber. But my other question is, has Couch saved since before the Baron Castle fights?
I want to say yes. I'm not sure. Speaking of, we found something extremely spicy on that underground throne there in our bonus round for the seed here.
Yeah, that demist, that's bait.
Yeah, that's totally bait. I don't want to see that just yet.
We have a team that can take it down with just a few more levels. I'm not sure if Starman's Rosa and Porum have reached level 23 to be able to cast Blink, but as soon as they do, 3 sources of Blink will get you through that fight. But it's not just 3 sources of Blink, it's 3 sources of Blink and the next 12 minutes. But hey, it's music time. I'm just
Yep.
We have Auron's theme from Final Fantasy X, and we have a fight that is not going to punish either of our runners. We have the Baron guards here, another non-boss bit enemy vulnerable to most status effects, including Insta-Death, Petrification, Stop, Toad, Mini, whatever you want to do. There are 1,001 ways to take this fight down.
It kind of seems like the laundry list of side effects in the Final Fantasy universe.
Side effects of Bacchus wine may include trouble sleeping, accelerated heart rate, arrhythmia. Okay, that's all I got.
Yeah. But anyway, couched through those, has been very aggressively life glitching here and is rewarded there. That Quack Kid is now online, and our item here is... Well, they can't all be perfect.
But what is perfect is getting an instant reprise of that Twin Harp theme while Couch pursues greener pastures. Enjoy the music and the rematch chat. We'll be right back with you. And with that coffin, Starman is through the fight as well, notably knocking that base level Tella down, saying, I don't need you this fight. I'd like to keep your agility low for the sake of agility anchoring. Final Fantasy IV's agility system, ultimately, you would love to have one really slow character so that all your other characters can be as fast as the super fast bosses in the later part of the game. Couch, meanwhile, does not care about that Baron Basement Throne, and I don't fault that at all. We have a Pan, which is an additional 3 checks as soon as we get underground access, and we don't need a whole lot more for Go mode with 3 objectives already in the books.
It's a little bit frightening, especially with that coming out there, but we also still need moon access, so our runners are still, at the very least, 2 parts away here, unless we can find Yong real quick here. But yeah, now we're about to see what is in that first part here, and that's a little punchy. That's kind of rude there, honestly.
Yeah, kind of a nasty fight, but Couch is, again, rocking a heroine robe, samurai bow, Rosa. So she is strong. She got the power. If it's enough to take this fight down pretty much on her own, we'll see. Because those arms have taken down both twins outright.
Let's say Bigan immediately noticing the threat in the quick casting Palom and saying, "No, thank you. I don't want any of that. I'm just gonna punch this kid before Quake comes out."
Little unfortunate for Couch that the Zerk Rosa has opted to take both arms down. I think it'll be even 2 more shots before the body drops. Oh, just 1 more, pardon me. But the arms will start getting explodey. We need to kill one of them for safety.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think she loses the arrow unless... Well, no, she loses the arrow. Well, never mind. She's just going to take them both down before they get explodey, but...
Rosa going full Berserker up in here. Some people, espouse her for her White Mage powers, but why not just let her murder everything in her path by firing 1,000 arrows at it? I love to see it. No hesitation, not taking a safety save, going headlong into this Dr. Luge and Balnob fight. We got the Zerk, we got the Quake. When Couch holding the turn on Porum so that as soon as the Quake is cast, can queue up cast to get Palom constantly casting something this fight. One spell or another, let's put our little Mysidian prodigy to work.
And now the wonderful news here is, even though you're going to get a little bit of an XP penalty for the whole thing, the HP for this spot is split between Luge, Balnab Z, and the Luge fight after that. So you're not dealing with the full 24,000 of the spot all in one shot. So it's a lot easier to kind of just take out piecemeal here.
Starman here, opting to take a little more defensive approach. Rosa self-casting Blink to get 2 free hits. Bigan saw that coming, but could not finish her off. The Quake cleans up the 2 arms, and do we get another one queued up fast enough here?
Looks like it's going straight for that Berserk here, so wants to shift in the offense. The question is, will he leave Palom alone long enough to get that second Quake off here?
I think that was just enough actions. Yes, the Quake comes out. Starman should be in the clear here. Boom, Bigan down. These runners still neck and neck. Couch has moved on to the final phase of the Luge fight. Starman just a couple minutes behind. I don't think we're going to see a safety save from Starman either here. The team is strong. The boss isn't too threatening. And in they go.
No, unfortunately, did manage to sleep that Palom before the poison came out and took status priority here, so we'll not be seeing additional Quakes here, but Rosa should be able to handle it on Couch's end here.
Yeah, the very nice thing about that Heroine Rogue Crystal Ring combo is that Couch doesn't have to worry as much about his Tella's agility. That's a ton of bonus agility on Rosa, so she's able to outpace most attacks in these fights and get herself circed up. Like you said, with status priority, if the poison on the team had come out first, Rosa would not have been able to self-circ and wouldn't be dishing out all of these 1,200 damage hits.
Luge wanted to put an end to that, but just a little too much HP on that Rosa, and immediately the Cure 2 comes out. Rosa fires one more time. The not-so-good doctor is put down here, and Couch is underground here at 45 minutes, with Starman hot on his heels here.
Yep. Let's pay attention to the clock here, just to get an idea of how neck and neck our runners are. Couch sees a pitfall at 45-27. And we'll see exactly when Starman hits that drop down.
And I believe we did see elements earlier, so I believe that is 100% pure leg on top of the bottom of the tower there, I believe.
Oh, did we see elements?
I think we did, or maybe I'm thinking of something else here. But no, we saw Mylanzet, never mind, so elements is still on the table.
Yeah, so we don't know exactly which form that is, but I think they're greener pastures between that pan, between the Feymarch freebie check, between Dwarf Castle having a character that could be our sought-after Yang. Uh, Definitely greener pastures rather than chasing that particular leg, I would say.
Yeah, and while part of me would like to possibly see that dwarf castle here, I do not begrudge Couch at all for saying I have a pan and would absolutely love to get these 3 key item checks out of the way here.
Oh, absolutely. And you called it at the very beginning of the seed. You mentioned what a difference a heroine robe would make for our runners today. And Couch finding that one in Eblin Cave is doing him a whole lot of good. Starman is keeping relative pace, but just that little physical advantage on Rosa is working to really good advantage here.
Yeah, the difference between these roses is night and day, and there's a tower key, and I love that because that means we have almost 100% of the underground at our fingertips, aside from that Luca key here. And Couch is going to head to the Feymarch and check out our Feymarch freebie as well with our bosses down there. However, with the amount of freebies we've seen, there's not a whole lot of free left in the seed here.
We've not seen the Dark Imps. I don't think we've seen King Queen Eblin.
No, those are about the only ones. I mean, even Bahamut's off the board, and that's free adjacent. Water Hag's gone, yeah. I mean, there are some things that aren't as bad here, but still, there's a lot of stuff we probably don't want to see in this Feymarch. We do get, well, there's the complete underground.
I believe you called it, yeah.
Our runners have full access to the underground here. And Couch is right up in front of that inventory boss as the shopkeep says, I can't fit any more in that bag anyway. You're gonna have to make some room.
And this is really nice to get it here though, instead of getting it while you're trying to, say, loot the Troya treasury or something, because here you don't just get to throw away 8 items. You can sell as much or as little as your heart desires, clear out that space to get these really nice gated items underground. And Starman hitting the pitfall roughly 3 minutes after Couch, almost to the exact second. Maybe a little off, but whatever. We won't split hairs. And now, 3 minutes difference, 48 minutes into the seed. This is a great match. I'm very happy that we have this great afternoon match here to kick off the weekend.
Oh yeah, and it's going to come back to, well, one of those fights is completely doable right now in 15 minutes. The other is novelist.
You don't like taking 15-minute fights on a huge Hail Mary play?
Well, now that you mention it, I mean, much as I say, Couch did find that Soma drop in the chest right outside the Twin Harp room, so that Attila can get swag rocks, but little else in that fight, and yeah. But we are getting the extended Poison Walk special here out of Couch as well.
Yeah. Oh, and chat, for anyone who's wondering why we are being a little aghast at those Feymarch bosses, the Couch, you troll, you beautiful troll. The other dwarf in the Job Dwarf hut never gets spoken to. Today, that one gets all the attention. But to loop back a little bit to those Feymarch fights, the Leviathan spot has about 35,000 combined HP. The Asura spot will have 23,000 and considerable speed. So the CPU fight's doable. It only uses percentage-based attacks. It's not going to be punching you for all your HP in one shot like a lot of bosses will at the Leviathan spot. But that big orb has a little over 29,000 HP. And Zerka Rosa, well, she's not that picky about her targets, is she?
No, and given she's the only source of your damage, and you still really don't want to lose that Arty arrow. That one Arty arrow that has been probably about 20 Arty arrows now, but who's counting, right?
Now, Couch here is making a very, very cheeky play. He did bop Yang on the head, so he has 2 items waiting back at Sheila, which Starman is going to reveal to us very soon. But Couch making the dive into the sealed cave. You do get to see this item before you leave the cave. but definitely a big time sink for a speculative gamble.
Yeah, and we're about to see the Sheila checks here in only a gold apple and a, well, that's the moon right there. There's the darkness crystal, so we have our Zeromus access.
And not just that, but if Yang is on the lunar dais, Starman's in go mode.
That is true.
We do like to say in these tournaments, check your freebies and chase your objectives. And it's looking like this could be a huge payoff if that is a Yang on the moon. Starman taking no hesitation, heading right to Mysidia, going to launch this well and see if go mode is in fact here.
Only a moon veil in there, so that's probably gonna be an easy reset out of Couch. But Couch is not knowing where Demist is going to check this boss here in an instant. Gonna see what we're likely fading today, and that is, well, you love to see that gone.
Yeah, nope, that's not a fight that, nope. But with this dive down, both into Feymarch and then into Sealed Cave, I dare say Starman has more than equalized. Couch had that 3-minute advantage, and now Starman is the one in the lead. Launching the whale at roughly the 52.5-minute mark is when we faded back into the Tower of Wishes. Advantage to Starman, flipped it back over so quickly. One bad gamble is all it takes to fall behind to these amazing runners in the Lali-Ho lead.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that Couch didn't get some very valuable information there. Knowing that I do love me some boss information, even if that didn't pay out directly there. But that tells me on the moon I don't have to prep for Golbez anywhere because he's down doing whatever in that cave down there. So there he can stay.
Guarding the one Moonveil.
We switched this darkness crystal with the Moonveil. Let's see if Golbez notices.
Hey, that would be a monk on the moon.
Well, that's go mode for Starman, and I'm going to assume go mode for Couch almost immediately thereafter. So here you are, you have your crystal at 53 minutes. You have 9 key items, or actually 8 key items in this case. And you have this party and a dream.
Yeah, the danger here is that this will put Couch at 9 key items because of that Luca key. And so you start to ask yourself, am I going to hunt a 10th to try to get 10 key items? Or am I just going to grind and go? I believe Starman did not check the Tomer shop, which is where sirens were. So that does swing things back a little bit in Couch's favor. He does know where those are.
Now those are Cure 3s. Those are important on the moon. Again, you see in chat here, seeing if either runner knows 1200, where you basically veil up as much as you can there and just kind of try to poke Z with items and such until he reflects so many nukes back into his own face while nerfing his big bangs. The question is, Couch, again, does know where sirens are and will be 10 key item adjacent. You have go mode, and Couch will have go mode here very soon. The big question is, what do our runners do from here?
Yeah, I will note that since we don't have a pass, we will want to walk the moon eventually anyway. I'm wondering if... So Couch has a small supply of sirens. And I know we just said that it's kind of dangerous to gamble for a 10th key item before your grind. But I would actually like to peek, if I were in this situation, this is me racing, not speaking to what our runners will do. I love the idea of running down to floor 7, face checking those 4 bosses. Look for King, Queen, Evelyn. Look for Dark Imps. Dark Imps give you a lot of XP just by life glitching on their own. And if any of those spots gives you the key item, your grind is going to go twice as fast just because of that 10th key item. It's a risk, but you got to take risks in this tournament.
I actually like exactly what you're saying here, and especially with the moon play, given that, I mean, I have Tella, and I have Hourglasses, and I have Sirens. So we know that Gold Dragons are on the table if we're going to commit to a full grind. And if you're going to check any one place out there, it may as well be the D-Lunar spot here, as both of them are taking their Yang here. Actually, Starman took Yang there, but Couch is taking it and walking back out, dropping a save, and no, not walking back in, just going back to the surface here. Both have sirens.
Yeah.
Starman,
by the way, bought 12 sirens and is now heading down. We'll see the Hourglass cell, and we'll probably also be getting that dangerous 9th key item. I like this play too. You may be hoping for a Rat Tail, which would then instantly become a 10th key item. Or a pass to keep you from having to walk the moon a second time.
Yeah, it is just going to be rewarded with that Luca key, which, again, will make Starman 10 key item adjacent. Now, it looks like Couch is going to go for the tower here. Does have 2 key item checks, is definitely fishing for 10 key items while on the surface, which says to me that Couch wants to scramble eggs for his grind.
Yeah. This is definitely another good location to go. If it's either Ruby or Elements at the top of this tower, Ruby kind of less threatening here. The Dr. Luge spot at the top of Lower Babel has nearly no magic power to speak of. The Fire 2 counters will be wimpy. The glares, potentially survivable, depending on the gear our characters are rocking. And of course, you can make the Penguinator special, do tower key only, hope for a 10th key item. This fight only has, 600 HP? Shouldn't be a challenge.
Roughly there, and hey, we know Golbez is gone, so we're not just sitting through a cutscene, and our party is healed up for this Ogopogo here. Couch may be banking on just one Artie arrow being able to do it, which, with that heroin rope, I like that gamble here, and could be going for the Penguinator here, so one shot should do it, but let's find out.
Yeah. And while we wait to see if Couch does get a 10th key item here, there's been some conversation in chat about 1200 HP strats and Eddie strats. Just another quick summary of those. 1200 HP strats involve nerfing Big Bangs and reflecting Zeromus's own nukes back at him to do the bulk of your damage, since no one will take more than 1200 HP from a nerfed Big Bang. And Eddie strats involve consistent hiding to evade Big Bangs, popping out, doing a little bit of damage by activating a reflected nuke, and then hiding again. Both these strats, very valuable to have in hide here play for when you have an early go mode and a team that you don't really want to grind up. And it does, however, look like one that neither of our participants today is eager to try out. Couch here going to get the cutscene for the tower key, hoping to get a 10th key item here. If not, a pass would probably be the second best thing. You won't get double XP since it doesn't count as a key item, but it will save the walk down to the Lunar Core. And Starman is going ahead and grinding with 9 key items, doing the Warlock grind. Once you hit these with any kind of muting effect, or even stopping if you can survive the first spell onslaught, very nice and easy to kill, very huge XP gains. But the problem is if they do hit your Hourglass user for 1000 damage before you get it off. Does get it before any more spells come out though. Starts to get the team back up. Kind of low on life potions though. And chat, I do apologize if chat or our tracker who, by the way, shout outs to the Restream team taking care of us tonight, Solaris on the Restream and Plumerianite on the tracking. What was the key item that Couch got from that tower key? Can anyone fill me in on that?
I was about to ask the same thing myself. I have an apologies. I just had to answer a doorbell, so that's what I was about to ask here.
Oh, it was the Legend Sword. So that does put Couch at 10 key items. We'll be getting double XP from every single Siren kill here. And the nice thing is that if Couch runs out of Sirens before he, say, gets Nuke on Palom, if that's what he seeks, Tomra is just a brief flight away.
Yeah, and you do get at least a 1500 GP return on investment on all of these sirens here, so it's not like you won't be able to afford too many. But yeah, that's definitely really great for Couch here, especially with those arty arrows just doing all sorts of work here. While we do see Starman pulling up the sirens for the Warlock grind, which is usually a very effective grind as well here, just without that 10 key item bonus is a little more unfortunate here.
Yeah, no 10 key item bonus. Limited stock of life potions. Starman does have 2 white mages who could cast life if need be, but the other problem is that having hourglasses instead of mute bells is kind of tricky here. Although the hourglass does go out and it does stop the warlocks, they still get their queued action before the stop fully takes hold. Mute Bell, on the other hand, they try to cast their spell, and it then does check and says, no, I don't care when you queued this up, you're silenced, no magic. And so this grind is actually slow for Starman in like 3 different ways accordingly. No 10th key item, having to heal up the team after the initial onslaught, and not a whole lot of life potions for the glitching. Couch may be on the blue planet versus halfway down the moon, but I think this grind may end up making the huge difference here.
Yeah, very much so. The question is, where does Couch stop here? Does Couch want full on? I mean, I have seen an abundance of mage gear being dropped here, so I would assume that like going full on. Let's get these white mages up to white. Let's get Pelham up to nuke here. And Yang is getting the most precious of resources for any kind of Yang here in experience points. So the party shouldn't have much in the way of trouble. It's just looks like Couch is going to be going full reflect here based on how many eggs that are going down.
Yeah, and I can't fault him either. We have a Porum who is typically desperate for HP. Palom getting to nuke is a huge bonus to your damage versus Aromas. His Tella has a few levels, and thus I don't think all the kitties on this team are going to be relative agility 1 in the Z fight. So I understand taking the side of caution here. Meanwhile, Starman here, hoofing it on down to the lower part of the moon. Are we going to see the grind continue on Gold Dragons? Are we going to see an attempt at a 10th key item? What is the plan here? Because this team does not look Z-ready to me.
No, it does look like Tella is catching a life potion there, and it may be moving on. Yeah, there's another Sirens. Yeah, the grind is moving over to Gold Dragons, which I actually kind of like a little bit better here, if just in the case that it's going to go a little bit better with that weak spell on Tella and the life glitching to be going on there. Maybe a slightly slower in execution, but well, I'm not even sure there because you should have enough to see it through here. You're going to get that weak cast. You're going to punch a Gold Dragon, life glitch it, and then repeat the weak cast. That might be, again, the party doesn't look Z ready, but people have come up with so many good ways to deal with Zeromus that sometimes even the weakest looking party has many tricks up its sleeve.
And Coucher has flied to the moon. Did he get the kids to their ultimate spells, or is he just going for it a little sooner and relying on the combo of Rosa and Yang to get most of the work done?
I would have to look at that screen again. I know that last I looked, and I think it was 2 to 3 eggs before Couch was done, that Palom was at level 47. Palom does get nuke, I believe, at level 52, and I do believe Porum and Rosa should pick their white spells around there, but I am getting from Denari in chat here that they do not know their ultimate offensive magic yet.
Yeah, and Soul Requiem saying it did get up to Meteo on Palom, so that would be level 50. 2 more levels to go will get you there. So shouldn't be, yeah, one fight against Gold Dragons, because Couch does have Hourglasses as well. He has the Artemis arrow on Rosa still to dish out tons of damage to them instead of having to do the weak strat. So yeah, we may see just that little capstone on the XP coming up shortly. So speaking of gambles that paid off, that tower key for a 10th key item coming in so incredibly clutch, and the difference in early game looting being substantial as well. What a difference one stack of Artemis arrows makes.
Yeah, I have definitely seen it. Couch paused for just a moment as if to say, wait, do I need a little bit more grind? But is heading straight to 7 there. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there, and I definitely fall on the end of taking just a little bit more here. I am a loot goblin.
Oh,
I
he's
will,
tempting. He's going to go back and fight. He just wanted
yeah.
to take the safety save in case the dragons went awry.
Yeah, but I am saying the more stuff you get early, to the point of where you can say, well, now I don't. Now I'm set for like the rest of the seed everywhere. Yeah, sure, I looted a little bit more, but I'm going to make it up in the late game.
Couch taking a step back up these floors. We're going to see the gold dragon summon. Starman, meanwhile, still not done with his grind. 8 sirens left. Rosa only at level 41. That's still a ways to go. Yang not having broke level 40. That 10 key item bonus is huge.
Yeah, and I guess the good thing is here is Palom knows weak now, so you're not going to get the whole we need Tella upright when the far superior caster at this point can just do it himself.
I'm so sad. I wanted to see Rosa shoot at least one of these King Ryus to the tune of quad 9s, but I guess this is technically more efficient.
Speaking of efficiency, that was 180,000 XP. That's Nuke, that's White, and I would dare say Couch is absolutely ready at this point.
Yeah, that to me, that's the cutoff point. Anything past this point is it's not even a question of necessity at that point. It's you're being greedy. And this is a good-looking team. Rosa is... Oh, I was hoping that we would see hybrid strats with a Zerker Rosa still, but it looks like this is going to be kind of a pure reflect situation.
Maybe not as many pieces of wizard gear as I thought, or they've been sold off, which is definitely a possibility because I've seen Couch sell a lot of things in that inventory, which, you know, is actually good practice. You really don't want to keep that much stuff there. But yeah, it's definitely going to want to nerf some big bangs here, because that will still quite hurt this party here. We also want to thank Scotty Deluxe for the raid there. Thank you for sending over this way to catch the final leg of this race here as Couch is making the dive. I see some very familiar blue fabric in chat, and I'm going to hand it over to you. And Ben, do we have a important question to ask?
Yeah. So, again, some people here unfamiliar with the randomizer. Well, we swapped all those other bosses around to various and sundry locations, modified their stats for where they would be at that point in the game. But Zeromus is a butt. Zeromus is too much of a jerk to move around like that, so instead we randomize his appearance with some memes, some villains, some cute little things from games that you may remember in your youth or in your adulthood. And thus, every time we throw this crystal, there's over 525 options for whose butt are we going to kick this fine Friday afternoon. You want to talk about reflect strats while we see this butt and talk about why this team is so well suited to them?
Absolutely. So the big thing with the Zeromus here, and it happens with so many enemies in Final Fantasy IV, is that most of them have scripts that work on a counter basis. You do something, they do something back to you. It sounds simple enough, but unfortunately the whole thing is when you reflect a spell off somebody who has the reflect status, as we are going to see Young has the Star Veil getting put up right now. Palom already charging a nuke, and I'm kind of hoping it doesn't buffer past Z's small little opening and vulnerability phase here. But the big thing is Zeromus has two things you want to watch out for in terms of counters. Now most magic, summons included, at least to a point, will be countered with a direct nuke to the face. Now, that sounds terrible for other reasons, but the other thing is that Final Fantasy 4 here kind of worked on the Super Nintendo, so we only had, our boss could only actually reach up to about 65, 535 HP. Now we wanted Zeromus to have closer to about 100,000, so when it comes down to it, the way they got around that is they put an HP refill counter at roughly about 45,000 hit points. Now the thing with the Reflect strategy is he never sees that part of the script because you are just straight up going by it here. So you never see the refill script, and you only have to deal with the roughly about 63 or 65,000 hit points that he's hard-coded with.
Absolutely. So we're going to see all these spells coming out being reflected so that we don't run the risk of that. We did see a Silk Web thrown directly on Dynablade here from the Kirby series. It does slow the ATB a little bit, but the big thing was that counter nuke guarantees this Big Bang will not do more than 1200 damage to any character on this team. And it may buy us a little time. In some Zeromus fights, we really like to be buffering the queue by having people constantly attacking. Here, though, if we do any direct attacks, we run the risk of that refill. So not going to be happening here, just nuke Holy Holy on repeat. On repeat, y'all.
Yeah, this is the reason we wanted these kids to get their ultimate level spells. Nuke, obviously one of the best single target spell in the game, has next to no cast time, much like Virus. And as you see, Pelham just, doing casual 8 grants with it here. White has taken a little bit longer to wind up, as you can see, does about the same, especially with the will stats on both of our casters here.
And here comes the Shake. The great thing about having Yang as basically our Starville, our Reflect Mule here, is that Yang has far more than the 2700 that an unnerfed Big Bang can cap out at. So even if we don't get the kill before the Big Bang comes out, he'll be able to recover the team, and Couch should be able to still finish this fight off.
Yeah, about the only one better than Yang for this is Sid, I would say, and that's more because you can stick a Curse Ring and Dwarf Axe on him, tank his agility down to nothing, but still freely level him, so you can have your, 4,000 hit point anchor, and he'll say, this is fine.
Couch does take a little safety here, throws a Cure 4. This is not a nerfed Big Bang, so it still has a good chance of taking down the kids. Let's see how bad it is. $30 HP in a dream.
Yeah, you hate to see the big rolls on it, but, even then, there shouldn't be too much left, and that's it. That's the flash, that's the boom. And 31 HP is 30 more than Couch needed, as down goes Zeromus, and we have an official time of, it looks like, 1:14:07. GG, Couch.
GG's. We'll see if we can get Couch in here for an interview in just a moment. But yeah, love to see all those GGs pouring out in chat. What a great run. What a little... I swear, we have had so many Jet hook seeds this tournament, where you get underground and boom, it's go mode within like 5 minutes. And we are joined by Couch23. Couch, GG's, sir.
Hello, thank you.
So when you got underground, you did go for the Sylph Cave immediately to bonk that monk, and then headed to Feymarch. What made you choose to pursue the Sealed Cave for your next play rather than going up to Sheila?
I don't know, I was maybe hoping for like an Earth Crystal or something that would maybe send me to a Yang, but I don't know. I always like checking the Luca Cave just in case.
And then the other big routing decision was after you got Go Mode on the Moon, you did come back. What generally informs your decision whether to try to get a 10th key item for double XP, which was the huge payoff for you, by the way, versus going ahead and grinding with 9? What kind of informs your call in that situation?
Really, if I'm rocking the twins, I know I have to grind quite a lot. And I don't know, it was kind of like, I don't want to spend forever trying to do gold dragons and just pop back down. Tower key's relatively quick. I mean, you've got cutscenes, you gotta hoof it a little bit, but I don't know. It's a relatively quick check, and that's why I saved on the Moon. So, like, if it wasn't, I could just go reset and go do gold dragons.
Cool. I do. You got any questions?
Um, just so much in. I mean, obviously, you were all looking for any semblance of a physical fighter, and completely crapped out on all of those. Honestly, we have no idea. Especially you and Starman did so many of the same checks. We saw no Cecils, Kanes, Sids. We found a Yong finally, but yeah. About what time did you think you were completely set into? Okay, it's reflect time.
When I saw that second Tella, I was like, yeah, I may as well just stick with what I got. And I don't know, finding that heroine robe was pretty sweet. It made me kind of push more towards clearing the earth and then going underground.
Yeah, that was the other huge thing. You found that heroine robe. Starman did not, and it catapulted you to a roughly about 3-minute lead, heading into the heading underground, and you gave a little bit of it back with that Luca cave there, but you got so much of it back in your grind there when you were just one-shotting everything with an Artie Bow Rosa or an Artie Arrow Rosa that never really needed anything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
So other than that here, congratulations, you are 5-1, you are headed to brackets, you're going to, at the very least, definitely get a little bit of a preferred matchup here. How you feeling about it?
I honestly had no plans of going 5-1 at all when I signed up. I was expecting more like 2-4, and just kind of whatever. I'm just pretty surprised with how I played, and I give huge shout outs to everybody that I've raced. It's been tight, close races every single time.
Yeah, well, I mean, you earned every part of that 5-1, and anybody who makes brackets earned every part of what they got there. So, much more congratulations, and as somebody else in brackets, I hope to see you and hope not to see you in the same sentence because I like you, kind of thing. But
Absolutely.
yeah, if we do, obviously, the best of luck to everybody who has made it, and Scala has it on point here. Couch, you are actually very good at this game.
Well, I appreciate it. I always kind of undervalue myself sometimes, and I don't know. Hey, it is what it is.
Yep.
Oh, some folks you just can't give a good compliment to.
Exactly.
Too humble. But that's one reason we like you so much. One of the community favorites. Glad to see you having such success this tournament. Any final words on your thoughts from this Swiss stage before we let you go and wrap up Starman's run?
Huge shout outs to Starman, huge shout outs to the Restream crew, everybody behind the scenes, and just the community in general. Y'all are fantastic, and never change. Keep rocking it.
All right, thank you very much, Couch, and one last GG before you head out there.
All right, and Starman is in this fight, looking a little scarier, but the nice thing, again, about having that 4,000 HP Yang is that he creates a lot of options to recover if things go a little off the rails.
Yep, and did get enough on that forum to get to that Cure 4. Also, as a quick aside, looking in the item breakdown there, the Adamant Rock was found, and we did see the spot there. That D-Mist might have been haunted in terms of Rydia's mother, at least, but was holding the Adamant Rock, so there was our final objective there. So the moon was completely haunted.
Yeah, maybe you could have found a 10th key item there in the form of something unnecessary, but it would not have been anything gating one of our 5 objectives. So, yeah, very haunted moon this seed, and it kind of made for a very jetty one at that. Having that 1 hour, 14 minutes and change, Starman here, not going to be far behind, getting his Cure 4s up, getting the team recovered, Yang punching his way through the Dynablade.
Cure 4, so while this is a little slower, this is definitely a little more sure here, as Yang is going to just straight up punch his way to victory eventually here. There's not much that stops Young, honestly, here.
I will note that there was another subtle thing in the seed as well, that Couch's looting provided him with quite a few apples. We made note that that Palom survived the Big Bang with only 31 HP. Maybe it was a little different than that with the sap tick still taking effect. But before Couch went into that Zeromus fight, popped at least 2 gold apples and 1 silver apple, an extra 250 HP between those little mages, made a huge difference. So I love to sell those for money, but this seed here, really, really a lot of apple value.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, I am one of those players, especially. I mean, I sometimes take a character who I shouldn't take someday. Okay, it's Rydia, but yeah, those apples are worth their weight in gold for our small casters here. In terms of, oh my, that's a very high roll Big Bang. It 2,500 Rosa there.
They do alternate. You'll have a couple that the max damage is capped at 2,400, and a few that the max damage, and then one capped at 2,700. So very, very rough roll there.
Yeah, capped at 2,700. There's another Big Bang there. Yeah, capped at 2,700 means 2,556 means there wasn't any evade rolls made there. Yeah, unfortunately, that's a wipe for Starman. And unfortunately, I believe. Is he taking another go with this? No, that is unfortunately officially forfeit. So you hate to see it go out like this. But it was one heck of a race. Silver lining, Starman still 4-2 and still headed to the bracket stage. So we have not seen the last of Starman by any stretch of the imagination.
Absolutely, and we will see if they want to come in for an interview when we get word from our restream team. In the meantime, while we are waiting word on that, do want to let y'all know that there are more matches tonight, this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern on Randomania 2. We have a do or die match between Frostbite 3030 and X Pancraz, both trying to get that 4th win to make it into the bracket stage of the tournament. At 9 p.m. Eastern on Free Enterprise, our randomizer's flagship station, we have another do or die between Golden Shocker and Infinius. 9 points each currently. Gotta have a win to advance. Maybe a tie. Can you get in with 3, 2, and 1? I forget.
Yes, you can get a 3-2-1. That gives you 11 points. You will be a little bit behind the 8 ball starting with the bracket stage, but you can absolutely get there at 3-2-1. And give our admins even more headaches, apparently. You'll get there. You might get a newspaper, but you'll get there.
Yeah, so it's do or die or tie. Those are your options this evening with 2 great matches coming up. In the meantime, we are joined by Starman. Starman, GG's, rough high roll. What did that Zeromus hit Rosa for? Over 2,500?
Yeah, I'm just like, if it's anything other than Zeromus going for literal max damage, I survived this.
Just brutal, but admirably played. There was a lot of great back and forth there. Couch had a little advantage getting underground first. You were the first one to hit go mode on the moon. Just great race back and forth. What were you thinking when you did hit that go mode?
I was thinking on, do I go up tower to see if I can get a 10th key item or not? And I think that was the deciding factor.
That was a big one. You did have Tella and Young Mages. Was there any thought to a D machine grind? Any of that echoing in your head? No.
No, not that. Not with how quick we got that. Like the smartest thing I could have done there was just go hunt for get mute bells and get a 10th key item, get mute bells, and just kill mages until I was ready to roll.
Yeah, mute bells so annoying because they are one of those items that can be ungated shops, so you don't even get to narrow it down like you do with hourglasses. So, but yeah, your run was great. Unfortunate luck at the Zeromus fight. Would have still been one of the faster times in the tournament. Would have been a great sub 90 finish on these. Is it just me, or have you seen a lot of these where it's a hook route and then you hit go mode basically as soon as you get underground?
Yeah, it has been a lot of those. I'll be honest, I'm not particularly fond of jet seats. I prefer like higher clear seats, like those like, oh, I'm already in go mode. Oh, great. Because that's when I tend to panic.
That does seem to echo the sentiments of a lot of players here. And I kind of a little bit agree. I've definitely explored the lower HP strats there. And some of them are, it's a nail biter going through and through there. So it's definitely once you hit it, it's like all the possibilities are running through your head. What do I do? How do I do this? Oh no.
Yeah, no, since I was already headed back to the Earth, I should have gone for a 10th key item because I was going to be down there anyway. But, oh well. Like, once you hit go mode, that's when the klaxons start to blare, and that's when you start making mistakes, I find.
Yeah, well, I mean, even then, as we were saying earlier, still 4-2, still headed to brackets, still going to be. I mean, to be fair, brackets is pretty much going to be the who's who of people you did not want to see in the Swissler around here. So, yeah. Any thoughts as you still do advance here? Any thoughts on going forward here?
Not really.
And have you tried the bracket flags just yet? And
Yes, that's right. I enjoyed them, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Well, hey, GG's again. Rough break at this Romus fight, but you have a nice week off to prepare, to come back stronger, to be ready for whatever opponents are coming at you. So I hope you enjoy your weekend and enjoy the remaining races. We'll give you the final thought before we start signing off, Starman.
Who likes high roll big banes?
No one! No.
Romus loves them.
Actually, you know what? If you want to be real sassy with it, you can actually pump up the power even higher. I will. I am looking forward to the first person who uses a Rydia summon to get a virus counter to bump up a Big Bang to a cap of 3,000 damage in a race. Good luck,
goodness.
whoever wants that.
Challenge accepted.
Maybe one time when I'm in there, like a 6,000 HP Yane and a 5,000 HP Sid.
There you go. There you go. Just got Sylph. What could possibly go wrong?
Anyway, I'll catch y'all later.
All right. Have a good
GG
weekend,
again.
Starman. All right. Night Dew, again, this evening. Where does everyone need to be?
Everyone needs to be everywhere. We do have the 2 restream races, the Frostbite and Pankraz, 8 o'clock Eastern, Randomania 2, Golden Chakra versus Infinius, 8 o'clock here Eastern, or sorry, 9 o'clock Eastern here on our flagship. But if you want even more free Enterprise action, you can head on over to our Discord, and there are a wealth of races also being on Khadgar and other that we can't get everything on Restream, but there are an absolute wealth of races again here to see.
There are 9 more.
Yes.
No, 10 more. 10 more. 11 more. 11 more, and there's one at midnight. Oh my gosh. There are 14 races tonight. If you can't get enough, well, we can't help you at that point.
What we're saying is if you need that particular free Enterprise itch, we got you covered today.
But we do not have you covered right now. There's going to be a close-off raid here. Everyone must have been so wrapped up in this race that no one's streaming yet. But make sure you check on the Discord. Tons of races tonight. And Night Dew, it's been a pleasure.
It always is, but thank you to everything you've done, and a big shout out to our team as well, Solaris3 and Plumeria Knight for running Restream and tracking as well. And once again, thank you to everybody, especially including Scala, who we are running absolutely ragged this week with all these hype matches and close finishes. We're sorry, but we're not sorry. Thank you very much for doing this.
All right, everyone. Have a great evening. We'll see y'all later with those other Restream races.
Good night, everybody.